What's going on, everybody? It's Brett Pro Angel here, bringing you today another deck profile. I just got back from locals and I just went undefeated with Drytron again. This deck is just absolutely fun and it's a powerhouse, very combo control. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this deck. I just think it, can do a really lot. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive in. We got the MVP of the deck, which is Cyber Angel Ben 10. Ben 10 is the card you need. It searches your whole engine. It enables all your Drytrons. Like, Ben 10 is just such a good, powerful card. So Ben 10, basically, if you open that in alpha, you basically win the game. That's really all there is. So next we have Natasha and Ultimateness. Natasha is pretty good because you could just use your Ben 10s to take your opponent's monsters. Ultimateness, you could easily just put up Ultimateness with like 5 negates very easily. So next we got, of course, our 3 Alpha. This is the best Drytron monster in a deck. Arguably, Zeta's pretty good, but Alpha searches you Ben 10, so it gives you full access to just the nonsense. So Alpha, it's a must at 3. You have to run this card. Next, we have 3 Zeta. Zeta is just about as good as Alpha because this is going to search the ritual spell. We really need that spell, but it also, you could pitch Ben 10 to tribute. Alpha and Zeta are definitely the 2 best Drytrons in the deck. You got to max out on these. Next, we have 1 Delta, 1 Gamma. I was running Beta, but I went ahead and cut it because there's so many other good cards we could run. Gamma's the powerhouse, definitely. So yeah, this deck is a lot of fun. Next we have Eva, Cyber Petite Angel, and Manju. Cyber Petite is the newest addition that I just added. It's actually, I substituted this instead of Herald of the Purple Light. Cyber Petite is just so good. She's my replacement for Herald because Herald, even though I used it for Schism and Punishment because the deck loses to it, Petite's just all around better. It's just like Manju. So yeah, these are the best fairy options that you can really run other than the rituals. But then there's also Ruler. And I also run, Dawn Knight, which is standard. People were cutting Ruler, but I think this card is so good. This literally won me game 3 of the finals because I went first. And I just played Ruler and I had Heralds in hand. It was just good game. He just shook my hand. Next, we have 3 Heralds. This is pretty standard. I was running Purple Herald, but 3 Orange is definitely enough. It's so easy to just search this card. You could search it with Ben 10. You could play around hand traps. It's just such a good card. Next, it looks like we got our 3 Droll and Lockbird. Some people might argue this because you can't fit many hand traps in Drytron, but 3 Droll is so important because you just don't want to get comboed against. So next we got 3 Cyber Emergencies. We're moving on to our spells. Cyber Emergency is basically just a rota for your Drytron, so why wouldn't you max out on this? And if they ask Cyber Emergency, you could just discard a Drytron to add this back to your hand. I mean, you have that option. And then you got 3 Preparation of Rites. This is another rota basically, but for ritual monsters. It's just ridiculous. You can also add back, if you read it, you can also add back 1 ritual spell from your graveyard to your hand. So grind game, dude, this is just crazy. Next, we got 3 Fafnir. I thought about cutting this down, but then I realized why that was such a terrible idea. Fafnir, you basically, Virtual World loses to this if you have a Drytron on the field. Fafnir is so important. It's a rota for basically E-Telly, your Nova, and the ritual spell. So it's so good. And then we got 3 Novas. This is the E-Telly of the deck. You have to have 3. And the last profile only had 2, but that was only because I didn't have my 3rd one yet when I won the last locals. So yeah, it's a must at 3. Next we got 2 Forbidden Droplets. Droplets, this is the MVP spell card of the deck. Like if Ben 10 had a counterpart, it would be Droplets because Droplets just hurt your opponent. They go Herald, discard for cost, you chain Droplets, and then you just keep playing. This gets around VFD. Unless you're playing against Virtual World, then it kind of sucks. But either way, Droplet is just such a powerful card. You have to have this in a main board, in my book. Maybe up to 3, but it might be bricky. Then the one-ofs, 1 Foolish Burial and 1 Meteoronus Drytron. Foolish Burial is just, start your plays, and of course the ritual spell. So yeah, now we're moving on to the extra deck. So we got 1 Link Karibo, here's our weenie cards, and 1 Relinquished Anima. These cards are just part of the combo, like you have to run them. I can't tell you how many times I punished somebody with Anima, it's funny. And then we got Union Carrier, Geonatal Transverser, Nightmare Phoenix, and Nightmare Unicorn. So yeah, Union Carrier is just part of the combo. You have to have this card. It's just so good. You use these 2 cards for your Union Carrier play. And then, of course, Yugioh. I literally took people's Zexal before. It's just so retarded. Yugioh. And then you got Phoenix, which is just a free draw and a free pop because we use Link Karibo. And then Unicorn to Link Climb because we do play Access Code. And then that comes the bosses. Appaloosa Access Code. A lot of people are choosing not to run Appaloosa and they run Boral Sword instead. But you don't need Boral Sword. Literally, you have Access Code to do that job. Appaloosa is literally, I put up 4 negates against a Numeron player and Herald in hand, and he summoned 4 of his Numeron XZs and couldn't get over Appaloosa. And it was just so good. And then I run 2 Nightingale. I don't run the Fucho because, it's so good. I will say that. Fucho is so good. Can't be destroyed by battle, but it's, yeah. I gotta have a way to both Zeus. I would rather have 2 Zeus than just like 1 Zeus with like 2 Sens because it's just more vulnerable that way. It's situational, but still. And then, of course, I have to run the Cyber Dragon Nova Makaba package, and the newest edition is I actually put in Intis because this deck has such a hard matchup against Dogmatica Invoked. Intis just solves that problem. They use Max, you bring out Makaba, and pop with Intis. If they already have Makaba on the field, you pop their Makaba. That's just so broken. So they're forced to negate Intis, and then you just bring out Makaba for free. And then we have the side deck, which is 3 Lancia. I don't mainboard Lancia, even though it's a really good card. It just doesn't do anything against some decks. But this card just kind of helps you win against Virtual World and Dinos, of course. Dogmatica Invoked, so good. Danko Seka is definitely the MVP of the side deck. I've won so many games by just opting to go second after I lost game 1. And I sided in like 12 cards like Lightning Storm, Regeki, Duster, and this card just wins. And then we run 2 Ghost Spell. I like her a little bit better than Meister. Meister's such a good card. I won't discredit it, but I just think Ghost Spell does more for me, to be quite honest with you. She has 3 different, conditions, so it's just, I don't know. I just preference her. Also, next, after Bell, we run our powerhouses. So we have 2 Lightning Storm. These are just blowout cards, guys. We run 1 Duster, 1 Regeki. People are like, this card is so underrated. People are downplaying Regeki. And Mystic Mine. These cards are so good in this deck. And then, of course, we run 2 Cosmic Cyclone just for back row hate, and then 1 Red Reboot. I'm just telling you guys, like, Regeki is just so powerful, especially if they have a Zeus on the field. You just go Danko Seka. Like, if they have set like 4 back row, you go Danko Seka, Harpy Feather Duster. Sorry, bro. Like, it's such a good combo. You got Red Reboot if they try to negate anything, like with Solemn or Strike or whatever. Solemn Strike or Solemn Judgment. Mystic Mind buys you time. Yeah, so this side deck is just incredible. If I side in mine, I leave at least 1 Fafnir, so I have a way to out it. But, yeah, so I just want to thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you guys for watching the content. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. Join the Bread Angel community, man. Come on, bro. Nah. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. This is Bread Pro Angel reporting out.